at home. Okay? They were able to go home and have a life and have dinner with their family and sleep in their own bed. The guys now are on the road 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's a problem.
They never stop traveling. They're on the road all the time. Shawn Michaels back then spent 323 days out of the year on the road.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 365 days in the year. He spent 323 of them on the road. Okay, and you want to know why the divorce rate in wrestling is so high? You're never home. Your kids don't know you. Your wife doesn't know you. She has to look at you on TV to remember what you look like. It's a scary thought, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a scary thought.
Well, you mentioned wrestling, and yeah, I would love to have Jesse Ventura on here. If you could arrange that, that would be an honor. But you mentioned actors,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like I don't know how far back you go on that. Right now, I think my current favorite actor, I've been a fan of this woman since her first movie in 2007. I love Emma Stone. I love Emma Stone.
Yeah. I think I think the best thing she's done to date in my mind, and I loved it, was called Birdman.
Oh, I love it. I got that here on Blu-ray.
My wife thinks that I'm out of my mind.
Loved it.
I took my wife, I took her to the theater to see Birdman. And she said, "What the hell are we watching?" I said, watch the movie. And all through that movie, she said, she goes like this with the elbow hitting me. "What are we watching? What is this crap? What is this stuff?" I said, "I love this." She goes, "Why do you like these artsy fartsy movies?" She goes, my taste in film is artsy fartsy. But yeah, I love good cinema. I love good film. And I'll watch any kind of movie, but Emma Stone, she's a favorite. I'll admit it, she's a favorite. For sure.
I absolutely love Emma Stone, and she just seems to be interesting every time I watch her, you know. And I also love the fact that she kept her marriage and pregnancy out of, the paparazzi saw them, but she wasn't showcasing it, I like the fact she's trying to be real and not be phony.
Absolutely.
Like, which is the opposite I'm seeing out of Jennifer Lawrence, because her marriage was all was announced and pregnancy announced, and it's like, we don't need to know,
Well, yeah, understand something. I'm going to give you a little heads up because I know how the game is played. There are a growing number, Python, a growing number of celebrities who they give the old wink and a nod to their publicist, okay? Telling the person verbally, keep this out of the spotlight, keep this out of the paparazzi, wink, wink, nod, nod, okay? Which means go ahead and leak it so somebody's got something to talk about. Now, why would they want to do that? The answer is very elementary. It's very simple. If people forget who you are, the phone doesn't ring anymore. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how show business works, particularly acting, actors and actresses. They want publicity. They want the phone to ring. It doesn't matter, like P.T. Barnum said, it doesn't matter if it's good publicity or bad publicity, as long as they're spelling your name right in the papers. In fact, P.T. Barnum went to the extreme to say there's no such thing as bad publicity. And there's really not. because you can take any negative in the public eye, and with a good PR team, you can take that negative and turn it into a positive to work for you. Look at a guy like Alec Baldwin, who, accidentally shot this girl on the movie set.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? His phone stopped ringing for a couple of months. As soon as they spun it around and made him the poor soul, people are calling him again. In the meantime, some poor girl died. We don't know whether she was accidentally killed, purposely killed, targeted. We don't know. And we probably never will. Because on a movie set, again, it's the code of omerta. It's the code of silence. It's a lot like being in the mob. There's a lot of these things that have the mob mentality. The notion of keep it within our group, just like the wrestlers. Keep it within our circle. And it's hard for people to understand that. It's even harder for some people, Python, to grasp that. But the fact is, hey, that's the world we live in, and you either like it or you don't like it. But you can't, if you turn your back to it or turn a blind eye to it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's there. So I think it's the time now that we acknowledge it, accept it, that there is a level of world out there that doesn't play by the rules. The entertainment business does not play by the rules. Professional wrestling does not play by the rules. Mm-hmm. And celebrities with a certain amount of clout and status don't play by the rules because they don't have to. And that's as simple as that gets.
What notable actors have you interviewed that just blew your mind to talk to?
Wow, there's a couple of them. Oh,
mm-hmm.
There's a couple of them. Probably the most interesting, and I'll say it this way, the most interesting guy because of the diversity of talent that he has was a guy named Michael Parray.
Okay, now, I know who he is. Yep.
You know who Michael Parray is?
Yep.
For those of you who do not know, Python is up on the curb here because Michael Parray is most well known for a film called Eddie and the Cruisers.
Mm-hmm. And
then Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives. He's also well known for a film called Mayday and Earth. He does a lot of disaster films. He's done, and he has actually a new film out now. It's a Christmas movie. Michael Parray is a hell of an actor. It's a really interesting guy because he's very deep. He's very insightful. He's got a lot of wisdom. And he really does. He's the kind of an actor. I think you'd like him. Mm-hmm. He's the kind of an actor that throws his whole being into his role, into his character. He's one of those people, you've heard this before, Python, to become the character. He really does become the character.
Was he in the Philadelphia Story with Nancy Allen?
Philadelphia Experiment, yes.
Experiment.
Yes.
Story, not story. That's a 40s movie. Experiment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Story was Jennifer Jones way back in 1942.
Yeah, I know what one you're talking about. I just got the
Philadelphia
name
Experiment. Yeah, yep, she sure was. Nancy was in that one well.
Yep. Yep. And I know he's done some movies with for Uwe Boll as well. So Michael Parray, yep. I've had
great
Uwe Boll
actor.
on
I like
here.
him.
Yep.
I like him a lot.
Yep. Who else have you interviewed that grabbed?
There's a real interesting guy. He's a character actor. You may not know his name. And I love interviewing character actors because they're fascinating people.
Mm-hmm.
They're the kind of people you see them show up in everything, right? but you don't know their name. This guy's name is Jim Fife. What's interesting about Jim Fife is I actually went to high school with him. I went to high school with this guy, Jim Fife. Lo and behold, he goes to Hollywood and becomes an actor. Okay? And surprise, he starts getting work. And a lot of it, a lot of work. If you don't know who he is, he's best known for a couple things. The film The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox.
Okay, I've seen that.
He plays one of the ghosts in that film. The other thing he is known for, he played Willie Loomis on Dark Shadows, which was a television series with Ben Cross on NBC back in the day. He did the updated Dark Shadows. And Ben Cross, a hell of an actor, played Barnabas Collins on that show. Great show. But Jim is the kind of guy, he's got a list of credits like this. But a lot of people don't know who he is because he's that guy. Oh, that's that guy.
Kind of like Dick Miller.
Exactly. Exactly like Dick Miller. Dick Miller was in every movie ever made.
I had the pleasure of having Dick Miller on Python's Paradise 5 months before he passed.
Oh, man.
I was so glad because I didn't have him on my list of people to reach out to.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, he's doing a lot of conventions. I thought, well, I'll reach out and see. And I got him. And had I waited too much longer, I wouldn't have had him.
Yeah.
He gave a great interview with he and his wife, Lainey, who was in The Graduate. Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. I'll tell you what, there's not much I have in the way of regret. But, you're talking about getting somebody before they passed. We booked Hacksaw Butch Reed, wrestler. Hacksaw Butch Reed.
Natural.
Yeah, the Natural.
Yeah.
We booked him for the show. He died a week later.
Oh.
He passed a week later.
I remember when he passed, yeah.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him just a week before, maybe 10 days before that. Booking, firming up his booking for the show. And then he passed away. I do regret that. That's one thing I was like, I should have just, and here's what happened. And again, I could kick myself in the butt for it. He wanted to be paid. And we have this policy of not paying anybody. So we were negotiating getting him on and maybe paying him later. But again, fate stepped in and he was taken from us. And I sometimes I think about, like, I should have just gave him the money. But then if I do that for one and it gets around, I got to pay everybody, Then it becomes a thing. What happens, Python? It becomes a dangerous precedent. And then before you know it, you're going into your pockets and you're going broke for guests.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but and I've been very open about this. I don't make any money from my show.
Neither
and
do
I don't want, and I don't want to. And that's what people are surprised about, that I don't want to. Can I? Yes, I can. I have Pepsi as a sponsor. I have manscaped.com as a sponsor. But I don't get any money from them because I don't want their money. What I want from them is something money can't buy, which is advertisement, their kind of advertisement. Because I'm global now because Pepsi is global. I'm global because manscaped.com is global. Without those guys, people in England don't know who I am. People in Germany don't know who I am. Thankfully, they do. Because Pepsi is known everywhere.
Let me tell you one of my biggest regrets. And this was something that I couldn't foresee happening. But I interviewed a wonderful stuntman. and I've interviewed him twice. Lovely man. He's 96 now, but when I interviewed him in 2016, and I interviewed him again in 2019, and his name was Ted White, and he was.
I know the name.
Yeah,
I know who he is.
He was Jason in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. He doubled for guys like John Wayne, Clark Gable, Lee Marvin. He had stories.
Yes.
Loved talking to him. And this is not his fault either. You know, he liked talking to me, and he tried to connect me with a couple people. Yeah. One was Kane Hodder, and the other was Judy Aronson.
Sure.
Now, he wanted to give me their numbers, and I said, let's wait till we're off air, because we got so lost in conversation, he wasn't, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But he emailed me their phone numbers, and he said to me, throw his name out to them. He said they would love to do your show. I didn't call them for the longest time because I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah. And
what had happened was, and I remember I had their numbers in 2016 when Ted White gave them. I interviewed Dick Miller in August of 2018. Mm-hmm. When Dick Miller passed away, it was like, wow, if I hadn't have reached out, I wouldn't have got that. And I got thinking, I have these two numbers. Shouldn't I take advantage of that? Now, I know I'd messaged Judy Aronson on Facebook, and she read the message. And I sent her the Ted White interview, and I even told her where in the interview this was brought up.
Yeah.
But she never responded to me. Now, between the two of them, when I called Kane Hodder, right, I got an answering machine. I left a message, told him who I was and how I got his info, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Never heard back. I left it. Judy Aronson was a little different. I'm getting tired of the slack I'm getting over this too. I called the number. Mm-hmm. Somebody answers and claims I had the wrong number.
Right.
So I contacted Ted White. Ted White was baffled. He said, that's her number.
Yeah.
And I said to him, do you think maybe I might have spooked her? And he said, she would never do that.
Interesting.
So I left it. And I'm a co-producer on a film called 13 Fanboy.
I know the film.
Yep. Well, I'm a co-producer on that, and right now there's some friction between me and 13 Fanboy right now.
I know.
Yep. There's some friction.
Yeah, I know.
And part of the problem is when we got into 13 Fanboy, I gave Judy another call because she was part of the film.
Sure.
This time, the person answered claimed to be her cousin. Was going to give the information. That's the last time I called.
Yeah.
Debbie Sue Voorhees, who was in Friday the 13th, Part 5, and the director of the film, she's been on my show 5 times. Mm-hmm. The third time I had her on, I told her about this. She told me to lose the numbers.
Yeah.
I felt like shit when I heard that because I'm no stalker.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but anyway, when we got into doing the campaigning and whatnot, I'm an advocate on suicide and depression. Mm-hmm. I'm coaching right now a Canadian actress who lost her stepdad, who she was really close to.
Yeah.
And she contacted me because she knew I had beat depression a couple of times. Yeah. And I've been just kind of keeping contact with her. And yeah, I know she messaged me one day and she was like, I thought of you the other day. Thank you so much for keeping me in your prayers and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, when Robin Williams had passed away, there was a follow-up to the Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS, and it was called the Doubtfire Face Challenge.
Right.
And it involved you videoing yourself. You take a pie in the face and you nominate 3 people. And I had a few of my guests do it. Lisa Langlois, who I'm very close friends with, did it. Nancy McLaughlin did it in front of props from Jason Lives. Sandy Johnson, who was Judith Myers from Halloween, did it.
Sure.
And her husband was dressed up as Michael Myers.
Yeah.
One of the people he nominated Nick Castle, PJ Souls, and Felissa Rose. I met Felissa Rose.
PJ, oh my God, PJ. Oh, she's a character.
I would love to get her on the show. But
PJ is a character.
I met Felissa Rose at Frightmare in the Falls. I showed her Sandy's Doubtfire Face Challenge. And she was like, oh, I definitely will do it. I love Sandy. Sandy posted that Doubtfire Challenge after lockdown to cheer people up, and people loved it, you know? And depression's not a fun thing to go through.
Brother, I understand. I will tell you something, Python. One of the things that I do is, first of all, again, I'm a bona fide certified psychic medium. But I am a credentialed and certified life coach and grief counselor. I also do drug counseling, marital counseling, and personal relationship counseling. If there's anything that I can do to assist you, please let me know. I know all too well the toll that depression takes on the mind, on the body, on the spirit. It's the heaviest weight you can't see. People don't understand that. The simplicity of that. It's what takes you down. And in some cases you're helpless to bring yourself back up. So you need that to reach out and have that other grab your hand to pull you up from the water. You know, I don't know how a lot of people nowadays are dealing with, personal grief and personal depression. It's an individual thing. I know that what works, my approach works for me, and when I deal with people, because I make it personal, because it is personal. It's a very personal thing. So I make it personal. I don't shy away from, passing fault where fault needs to be passed. We got it. And that's how you hit it head on,
Well, where I'm going with this is that Scotty McCoy, who does a podcast, he's a friend of mine. Scotty's awesome. And Scotty said, why don't you throw the Doubtfire Challenge out to some wrestlers on Cameo? And I was lucky. Tori Wilson did the challenge. Good. James Ellsworth did the challenge, and Teal Piper, Roddy's daughter, did the challenge. And I threw it out to a few actors. Leah Thompson did it. She did it with an ice cream cone, though, because it was in the middle of a pandemic, and she just happened to have an ice cream cone. She's funny. She's funny. But I thought, you know what? I'm a co-producer on 13 Fanboy. There was only one notable name that did the challenge on that set. And I was like, I put $3,000 into that movie. So I threw it out to Judy Aronson on Cameo.
Sure.
She responded and said that she was so jealous that Ron Sloan had done it and didn't know that she got nominated. And she was opening to do it, but due to the pandemic, she couldn't do it then, but she promised she would do it. Well, last year, right around Thanksgiving time, about a year had passed since I sent that, I started doing follow-ups, and I threw Doubtfire Challenge out to a few people, and I just kind of threw a follow-up to her. Now she's declining it, saying it doesn't feel right to her and whatnot. And I've been discovering, and I discovered this recently. I had somebody send me a screenshot of negative conversation going on about me on the chat group for 13 Fanboy that I wasn't privy to. And it opened up with one of the higher profile people saying that I was acting weird again. And apparently the Doubt for Our Face challenge was their catalyst for saying that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry if I seem pushy, but I grew up bullied. I grew up being told I was nothing.
Sure, absolutely.
And I tried to do so because you know what? This challenge, recently the ice bucket challenge.
Absolutely everything you're saying, brother. You're talking to a guy that's 5'2". You know,
well, everybody, when they did the ice bucket challenge, people wanted to see celebrities do it.
Yeah, sure.
And this is what I did with this. People wanted to see celebrities do it.
Sure.
And right now, I'm being viewed as the friggin', like Debbie Zuvorhees has blocked me on Facebook as of right now because I went public about this. And I'm like, well, they went on a public chat and was saying stuff to me, and they wanted to know who. They're frantically trying to find out who had sent me the screenshots.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not a matter of who sent me the screenshot. It's why they sent the screenshots.
Absolutely.
I got vilified.
Well, there's the why is the important part, because whenever someone does something, there's a reasoning and motivation behind it.
Mm-hmm.
What we as the bullied, what we need to do is to find out why, number one, and then find out why. Okay? People don't understand what I'm talking about. Here's as simple as it gets. Who did it? Why they did it? Okay? Why they did it? What's the reasoning behind it?
Well, I know what
if you can reason and justify, I might listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
But more often than not, there's never a why. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
There's rarely ever a why.
But there's a lot of this has been embellished.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing, I was told that I spooked Judy Aronson and made her unsettled because I called her. I was given the contact info by Ted White.
Here's my advice to you.
You know,
and I'm going to give you, when we get off the air, I'm going to give you some incredibly sound advice, and then I'm going to do what I do psychically, because I'm going to tell you. You know, you looked surprised when I told you that I know. Okay, there's a reason I know, and I'm going to tell you when we get off the air. Because I'm reading. I don't want to tell you now. I'm actually reading the spirit that's happening in this conversation. And I can tell you who sent it. Okay. I could probably tell you with a 99% accuracy who sent it. What I want you to understand is this. First of all, I have to almost laugh when an actress or an actor says to me, and because I could just picture it in my mind, when someone says, it doesn't feel right to me. When I hear those words, it doesn't feel right to me, I want to slap somebody, okay? Because it's the height of arrogance, okay? Who made you so special? The answer is nobody, because you're not. You're no better off than I am. You're no worse off than I am. Okay? Actor, actress, politician, rich person, poor person, it makes no difference. We are all equal. In spirit, we are all equal. And understand this. And again, it's as simple as it gets. To pick on to pick on Greg for something that you consider to be his inadequacy is throwing the mirror back at yourself, because you, Miss Aronson, are inadequate. And I'm going to call you out, okay? You're inadequate. Now, if you got a problem with that, address it to me, not to Greg. All right? Now, because I can prove what I say. The other thing is, and it's important for you as a person to understand this, sometimes you have to cut your losses when they become insurmountable. And sometimes you have to do it just for the sake of your mental health. And now you've reached that point now, because I can hear it in your voice, I can sense it in your spirit, and I know where your head is going with it. So what I'm going to tell you is to walk away from, and I know you put $3,000 into this. You know what? You'll get the $3,000 back.
No. I'm glad I put the $3,000 into the film.
Okay.
You know, I want my name on it. I don't regret that. I do not regret that. No,
well, you can absolutely be proud of it, but you can also walk away from that headache.
Yeah, because I feel like, look, to Judy Aronson, I am sorry. I did not mean to make anybody uncomfortable. But when I hear from Debbie, it's like, I'm sorry, but they leave Ted White out of the equation.
Right.
And Ted White would not have done that if he didn't trust me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And the stuff that went on behind my back, and again, I was on a group chat the other night with an independent director, and he was dealing with this kind of stuff. And when I come on the chat, this come on again, and he called them out. Again, I got blamed for this, you know? And
right.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I liked 13 Fanboy. I'm glad to have been part of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean anything harsh by the Doubtfire Challenge, but I just happened to see how it worked for the Ice Bucket Challenge, and I thought that this would be something good. And I feel like I got looked down on because I wasn't part of the hierarchy.
I will tell you that you may feel that way, but your spirit is rejoicing in the fact that you followed your heart, you followed your gut, and you did something good for people.
Mm-hmm.
For that, you have nothing to be looked down upon. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Mm-hmm. You have nothing to apologize for. And it pains me that you apologize to a person who should be apologizing to you, quite frankly.
Yeah,
so
but
here's what we say now.
That apology ain't going to happen.
Well, so we say we resend our apology to Miss Aronson, and she can kiss our collective asses. And quite frankly, that's how life is. You don't like it? Look at life in the mirror. Okay,
but
life's a big mirror.
But I'll tell you one thing: I've stalked nobody, and when I hear stuff like being hinted, I didn't mean to make anybody unsettled. It's just like with Scott the Icon gave me your number.
Sure.
You know, you didn't say, "Oh, the wrong number." Oh no, I'm so and so's cousin. You know, number one, who does that?
Somebody that doesn't have the balls to say, no, I don't want to be interviewed, or I don't want to be bothered, or I don't want to be whatever. When my phone rings, I answer it and I say, yes, give me a time, give me a day, I'm there. Let's do an interview.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or a photo shoot, or whatever the case may be. Absolutely.
Yeah. But
so what I'm telling you is, and I'm going to tell you in front of God and the world and your entire audience, that your days of apologizing to people for what you didn't do, those days are over. Okay? You're the one that needs to stop apologizing and start accepting people's apologies. They need to start apologizing to you, brother, because I got news for you. You did nothing wrong, and you're not out of line. You know, I have a real tough approach to counseling, which is, let's roll up our sleeves, let's get dirty, and let's get this done.
I can tell you and I are going to become fast friends.
I already know it.
Yep.
That's why, you know, one of the things that I do with people I like, I open up my phone and my Rolodex, and I give away phone numbers like they're free glasses of water, you know. Because that's what I do. and I've been very fortunate. I've had a lot of goodwill with people, and we exchange phone numbers of celebrities and etc. You know, because that's what we do in the business. It happens all the time. So I'm going to give you a couple of people I think that you might like. Interesting folks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll have a real. You'll go. I got some numbers here. I'm going to send you.
Okay.
Really, characters. Oh, I'm forgive me, folks. I'm just looking at something. My wife is just texting me.
Oh,
I'm at the dollar store getting makeup.
I love the dollar store. I do so much. I do so much of my grocery shopping in there. It's amazing.
Brother, hello.
It's amazing the stuff you find in there.
I will tell you, the best burritos I ever ate in my life, I bought from the dollar store.
Oh, wow.
I bought a whole case of these Mexican burritos filled with cheese and beef and beans, and they were delicious. And I liked them so much, I bought a whole case of them. Then I know where to get them for $1 a piece at the dollar store.
Wow!
I'll tell you what, I really thoroughly enjoyed this interview. We got to do like a part 2 or something.
Oh, I'll definitely have you on again.
This is great stuff. Yeah, you know what? There's one guy. You and I have to try to get this guy. And maybe we can interview him together.
Okay.
I just want to see if he's still alive. Hold on.
Oh, gee, that helps.
Yeah, I want to see if this guy is still alive because he's one of my favorite people. If please, Mr. Be alive. I think he might still be around.
Or you could
No, he's still alive. He's still alive. And he's 88 years old, and I might have an in with this guy. I would love to get Robert Blake.
Robert Blake. Oh, wow. That's a name for you.
I think I might have an in being Italian because his real name is Michael Gubitosi.
Okay.
From New Jersey. One of my Goombas from Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy, folks. But I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to reach out. I got a couple of people in California that might be able to hook me up. If I can get him, you're going to co-host that interview with me for sure.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
You are quite welcome. And you, my friend Python, you have an open invitation to any one of my shows. We've got the Psychic Realm podcast. We've got What's the Buzz. We've got Mob Talk, the Mafia show. We've got Wrestling with the Future, and we've got the Writer's Room where we interview upcoming authors and people who have books. So we've got a few shows, and I'd like to invite your audience.
Here's my audience.
Cat.
Skittles.
Hello, Skittles. That's a pretty cat.
I love.
And I'm not a cat person.
He's a rescue.
Oh,
he's my buddy.
My little dog is a rescue too, Rocky Balboa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Skittles, I named my dog Rocky.
Skittles is like, you're using me for hits. This is exploiting me.
Absolutely.
Like, Skittles, you're living here for free.
Absolutely. Yeah, you better believe it. It's funny.
Oh, I love Skittles. Anytime, I don't know how many people have said to me they love it when Skittles comes into the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah. I'm a huge animal advocate. In fact, one of the shows that I've got scheduled is we're going to have the people on from a website called The Dodo. If you know what that is, check out Facebook and look for The Dodo. DODO.
Okay.
It's a site dedicated to animal rescue.
And the dodo is no longer around. No, I mean the bird.
No, but the website is.
Yeah.
They're on Facebook. It's called The Dodo. Yeah. Yeah, I know the dodo bird doesn't exist anymore.
Nope.
It went with the way of the Studebaker.
Yeah.
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 But I'll tell you what, this was a great time. If anybody wants to reach me, you can reach me at wrestlingwiththefuture@gmail.com. You can address it to either Angelo or the Mad Dog. They're both me. If anybody needs to reach me immediately, if there's a concern you have, the Python has my phone number, and feel free to give it away.
Okay.
And I'm the only person you'll ever meet to tell you, give my number away. I'll I trust you, and
okay,
and I trust. So that's just the way I work, because I rely on the goodwill of people, to pass along goodwill.
Okay.
So yeah, and the show that we do every Tuesday and every Tuesday we do What's the Buzz. We do Thursday nights is Wrestling with the Future, and then we have our the Psychic Realm podcast, the Writers Room, and Mob Talk, where we talk about the life in the mafia, and we bring on some. I've had some fascinating characters. I'll hook you up with a guy that'll scare the crap out of you. He worked for John Gotti.
Okay.
Yeah, he was John Gotti's hitman. His name is John A. Light. I'm going to hook you up with John A. Light. Fascinating guy. I'm this close to getting an interview with Sammy the Bull Gravano. I'm this close. So we're just waiting for him. He has all the info. We're just waiting for him to say, yeah, okay.
I'll tell you one thing. If you're able to, I'd love to have Jesse the Body Ventura. You're able to do that?
I am going to try to. I'm going to try and make that happen for you.
That'd be amazing.
I am going to try and make that happen for sure.
Yeah.
I know he'll remember. That's not even an issue. I know he'll remember. It's just getting a hold of him, because he is like everywhere. Right now, he's living in Mexico.
Yeah.
Which is isn't it strange that a former U.S. governor is now living outside the country, but he comes back often. He lives just over the border in Mexico, but it's still Mexico. But they know who he is. He doesn't get, I'm assuming or presuming that he doesn't get the headache and hassle that you and I might get trying to cross the border.
Yeah.
But particularly now in the States, it's horrible here, folks. If you don't live in the States, stay where you're at, because it's tough getting in, and they won't let you out. It's really, really rough right now.
Love Jesse, and of course the widow of Bruiser Brody. I'm open to that.
Barbara. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I do tribute interviews when people have passed away, so it allows me to still have, like, I remember I've done 5 interviewing the widow of Zoe Tamerlis Lund from Miss 45.
Yeah.
Yep. I do that when people have passed. It allows them to still be part of the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad. I want to say special thanks to Scott the Icon for hooking this up.
Absolutely. Icon, you definitely earned some brownie points, brother.
He has. Yep.
You sure have.
Yep.
Yeah, I will be doing his show in September. I will be Icon's guest on Attitude Era Live.
Yeah, he had me on there, and I was like befuddled. I was like, why did you want to interview me? And I'm like, wow, I felt so welcome, and he sent some people my way, and I hooked him up with a couple of people as well. And he had I've had a couple of people have messaged me about him. He said he interviewed you. Is this guy legit? And I said, absolutely, do his show. He'll make you feel welcome.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've actually I'll tell you who I sent to him. You're going to laugh. You remember Tiny Tim, Tiptoe Through the Tulips?
Yep.
Okay. His manager is a very dear friend of mine.
I've reached out to him. Steve?
Steve Plim.
He just had I think a death in the family or something. He sent me a text back, and so I'm going to wait on that. But
yeah.
He's
over the last couple of months, it's been rough for him. He had surgery. He had open heart surgery because he's got a bad ticker, so they had to fix his heart. Then he was on rest for everything. It was like, geez, just stay home and rest, do nothing. He's feeling a little bit better. Steve is the kind of guy. He's one of those kind of people that you can't hold him down. He's got to be doing something all the time, and he's a great guy. Steve Plim is his name.
Yeah,
Stephen Plim, and he's the manager and best friend of Tiny Tim, Tiptoe Through the Tulips fame. And if you get a chance, in fact, I might have a copy upstairs. I might send it to you. It's a book called Tiny Tim and Mr. Plim, Life as We Knew It. And it's the story of his life with Tiny Tim from his perspective. Fascinating book. And I'm going to try and get a couple of my books to you. My book is called Psychic Fingerprints, A Life's Manifesto. I'm going to try and get that book to you. The other thing, what do I need to do? Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to send you a Wrestling with the Future t-shirt.
Oh,
we got to do that for sure. You're going to get a care package in whatever country you're in. You're going to find it.
you don't have to do that.
I know I don't have to, but I do that for people I like, so I'm going to do that to you.
Oh,
I'm going to hook you up with a little care package. We'll send it to you. It'll have a bunch of stuff in it. And I'm going to send you. In fact, I want to shout out. Can I take this moment to say thank you to a couple of people?
Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to Mary Ann Howard and Ann Walsh for allowing me to write the foreword of your book and to write the liner notes in the back of your book. It's been a great honor to write the liner notes and the foreword to the book called Shadow of a Bassman, Rise of a Bassman. And it's a book about Paul McCartney. If you like the Beatles, you'll love this book. The first book, this is the second book icon. The first book was called Shadow of a Bassman, and the second one is called Shadow of a Rise of a Bassman, and I think the other one is going to be called Shadow Dancing. It's called Shadow Dancing. It's going to be a 3-book set. 2 of them are already on Amazon and in bookstores. The third one hasn't come out yet. When that comes out, I'll send that to you also.
Okay.
But if people, again, you want to get a hold of me, wrestlingwiththefuture@gmail.com, care of Angelo or Mad Dog. And if you need my phone number, hit up the Python and he'll send you my way.
There you go.
Fabulous interview. We got to do this again, brother.
We absolutely got to do this again. This was a lot of fun,
I enjoyed myself. Wow, man. That was an hour and a half interview. I haven't talked an hour and a half in a long time. At least since last Thursday.
My longest interview was 4 hours and 8 minutes.
With who? Who was it?
Craig Muckler from Microwave Massacre.
Oh, man. Do you know who Ed McKeever is?
No.
I'm going to hook you up with Ed McKeever, the master of the horror film.
Okay.
His claim to fame is called 100 Acres of Hell.
Okay.
If you know that film.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great one. In fact, that film features a professional wrestler named Gene Snitsky.
Oh, I know who that is. Yep.
Yeah. He's in this film called 100 Acres of Hell, directed by Ed McKeever. I'm going to, when we get off the air, I'm going to get your pen and paper ready because I'm going to give you some numbers.
Yep.
All right. Well, my friend, you want me to do the sign off or you want to do it? Sure.
I will, and then I'll stop it, and then we'll remain on the line here. Yeah, sure. Please do a shout out for me. Yeah, please.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. This is the Mad Dog DeCipio, and in true fashion, I gotta say, heads up, Parray, and let's do it again to my friend, the Python, on Python's Paradise. And again, a shout out, a big shout out, all the way down there in North Dakota to the man, the myth, the icon, Scott, the icon Halmrist. I love you, brother. Thanks for hooking me up with my new bestie. Brother, we'll do this again. Next time we're going to be on my turf. We'll talk wrestling. We'll talk politics. We'll talk mafia. We'll talk whatever you want to talk about. Show business. Maybe I might even have a surprise or two for you.
You know what? I look forward to it.
Yeah, until then, for the Python, this is the Mad Dog saying take care, goodbye, and we'll see you next time on Python's Paradise. Bye-bye, everybody.